Yeah, we're doing on average about anywhere between 30 and 50% more business.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing 30 to 50% more tickets.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I got it.
So
Okay.
in terms of like the overall number of customer service requests per order or per dollar that we have in revenue, it's significantly decreased.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, so for anyone that's listening that has no idea who Dan is, he's founder and CEO of Canadian Protein, one of Canada's largest e-commerce based supplement and protein powder stores.
Shameless plug.
Yep, you should check it out. We're having a sale, 20% off site wide right now. And you can get some great stuff. So I'm going to open up an email that I sent over to our customer service rep yesterday. Let me just open it up here. Okay, so essentially we went through a transition last week with another one of our kind of like long-standing customer service reps being no longer with the company. And with this, essentially, I wanted to kind of step in and really rip apart everything that's going on in customer service and question, okay, is there any way that our overall customer service could improve? Mm-hmm. And I'm a big advocate, just like with you looking at real estate and looking at the data, I'm a big advocate of looking at the data in business to try to allow that to guide your decisions, right? Rather than just trying to base it on just observation or analogies. So I started pulling up some customer service data, and over the past month, for example, we had approximately 800 new tickets.
Keep going.
We had approximately 800 new tickets come in. And so if you were to break that 800 by the 20 business days that you have on average per month, you're looking at approximately 40 new tickets per day. So let's say, for example, that our customer service team has to solve. Now, in terms of the volume in which when they come in during the week, we're looking at pretty much, if you look at that kind of graph there, and Connor, I'll send you over these graphs as well, so you can kind of throw them up on the screen for the podcast.
Yeah.
So the majority of the tickets actually come through on Monday through Friday, and actually Saturday, Sunday, we have a much smaller volume of tickets there. And then the kind of third statistic that I saw is that this is a graph of how many tickets come in on every hour throughout the entire day, regardless of the day of the week. Mm-hmm. And as you see, there's like relatively very few at 6 a.m. and it builds up and kind of peaks around midday. And the majority of tickets
being what, noon? Around?
Yeah, it kind of peaks around 1 o'clock actually is kind of when the peak number of tickets come in. And you have to think also with the time zone changes, we have a lot of customers out in BC as well. Yeah. So that's kind of comes into effect. Yeah. And so essentially we have the majority of tickets coming in during like kind of working hours. And of all of the tickets coming in, 74% of them are what we call one-touch tickets, meaning that a ticket comes in and it only requires one response for it to be solved, and then the customer doesn't even have another question after that. 74%, which is actually very good. Mm-hmm. So what got me thinking with all this data is essentially the kind of key person in customer service right now is young, very tech savvy, grew up on chats and messages and like just living online. That is an advantage with how fast she likely will be able to communicate with customers potentially. So it got me thinking about what if we were to introduce a live chat, which we haven't had before. We've had calling before when it was smaller. We've had text messages as well come in, which was another option.
And for a little bit of context, the problem with having calling, texting, emailing is that, for example, if our customer service was, serving another customer, somebody would call, leave a voicemail. Then they'd also send a text message, and then potentially send also an email. Mm-hmm. So we were dealing with sometimes 2 to 3 times the amount of volume of requests from, the same people. Yeah. Just simply requesting through different mediums.
Yeah. And so the issue with that is that you almost have to think of like, okay, so if you think of like a flow chart or whatever, from the point of the person being like, hey, I need help. If they have multiple avenues of getting to you right from the get-go, then they're going to go all the way. They're going to go, I'm going to text them, I'm going to email them, I'm going to call them, right? Because all three are available.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Instead, it needs to be a linear flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Where, okay, there's a first point of contact, which may be just like an FAQ page.
Yeah.
Right? Which is just, okay, here's
do
the
a search.
Yeah.
Have it auto-populate.
Most common questions that people ask.
Yeah.
Then, okay, they haven't gotten their answer there. Okay, let's go to an article base where you actually can search articles that were written up about maybe more in-depth topics that were things that were asked before. And then, okay, you haven't found your answer yet there. Okay, let's go to a chatbot.
Yeah.
A chatbot is able to kind of read what your requests are and will be able to either send you in the direction of an article or allow you to then move on to the next step if you can't get help yet. And right now, that next step is just going directly towards a ticket, which is...
Couldn't find your answer.
Couldn't find your answer. Open up a ticket, which is pretty much like an email.
Yeah. Instead, we're going to... Yeah.
So Vince is just calling me right now. I'm just like, let him know I'll call him after.
Mm-hmm. Vince from the golf course?
Yeah. So what I was thinking about is I'm like, well, if we were to introduce from the chatbot to where, okay, they're like, okay, you don't have your answer. Let's go to a live service agent.
Yeah.
The majority of tech companies that we work with, like let's say apps and things that we kind of add onto our Shopify store, I'd probably say 99% of the time I'm able to get my resolution from a live chat person.
Got it.
Right. That's like I find the highest quality of customer service that I've received is through a live chat. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is with the live chat, like you just mentioned, or kind of like alluded to before, is that a live chat, you can be doing multiple things at once, right? Like I could be having 5 chats all at once and be helping all 5 people. Then we said like what we could potentially do. And even like I say, a customer walks in person, you can still be like chatting with somebody as they're like there, right?
Sure.
Or you could like send them being like, hey, listen, like I can't help you here, but let's open up a ticket for you.
Yeah.
And so rather than going straight from like a chatbot to the actual submitting a ticket, which once again, we receive approximately $800 a month, we could introduce a live chat, which I think would greatly reduce the total number.
To be quite honest, like for the amount of volume and orders that go out of the door at this place, I would have thought it would be higher. Yeah. The amount of tickets that we would have gotten, but okay, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
They might be. Do we have is there any kind of analytical data that shows how much the FAQ and the database is being used?
Not necessarily how much it's being used, but if you compare, for example, like the volume of tickets that come in, let me show you this graph here.
So is it over a course of time?
Yeah, this is the total number of tickets over 2022 versus 2023 so far. So the blue line there is 2022, right? And so it's kind of like surprisingly steady throughout the year. And 2023, surprisingly, is like just a little bit higher, right?
2023.
For 2023.
Yeah, we're also doing a lot of more business this year.
Yeah, we're doing on average about anywhere between 30 and 50% more business. Yeah. But we're not seeing 30 to 50% more tickets.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I got it.
So in terms of like the overall number of customer service requests per order or per dollar that we have in revenue, it's significantly decreased.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Why the fuck is everyone calling me right now?
Who's calling you there?
My mom. Oh. Like it's one of those things that we've talked about a million times. It's like, Mom, you know I'm working right now.
Yeah.
Like, call me after work.
Yeah.
So, so essentially the whole point of all of this is that I'm looking at essentially who we have in the business and what their skill sets are. And then also looking at, okay, what is optimal customer service in this case? What is the optimal experience? And I found that I really like live chat with support.
As long as we can employ that linear,
linear flow.
Yeah, that
I don't know why you said linear.
Did I say linear?
Yeah,
linear flow.
Yeah.
As long as we can deploy that linear flow, then that works. Yeah. So that chatbot, what'll happen is instead of going direct to a ticket, it'll go to a live agent.
Right.
The quota will
exactly, and that live agent has some sort of SOP set up where it's like, okay, no more than I was thinking, kind of anywhere between maybe 3 minutes to 5 minutes, sort of idea, where it's like, hey, if you can solve and the logic of that is that we have 74% of tickets that are one-touch tickets. We solve them in just one go. If I take 74% of tickets, which let's call it 75%. 75% of our 800 tickets would be 600 tickets, right? 600 tickets in theory can be solved in a live chat. Then there's only 200 tickets remaining.
Probably, yeah, exactly.
For a month.
And the service standard of that is much greater,
right,
because it's being solved immediately.
Right. So then my question is that do we then even have to bring in more people to handle these tickets if it's just an actual like faster flow?
Yeah.
Right. And then the final thing is that if our customer service reps can't handle the like the tickets, so that's kind of the so 75% being solved in live chat, 25% being solved kind of like through the emails, and there's going to be then a small fraction of that, maybe 5% of the 25% that have to get escalated to like a customer service manager, which in this case right now it's me that are answering these like more complicated questions that are either like custom negotiations for large orders, or maybe they're like, oh, I want to be a partner with your business or a sponsor or something like that, something kind of beyond it. And so that's kind of where we are in terms of the customer service improvements that we're looking to do. And that I think will be foundational for as we push for really high growth over this next year, that it'll just be something else that's not like a bottleneck and allow us to continue to get positive reviews.
Yeah, interesting. Very cool.